Yo guys, the guy from Duke Nukem here, Uncommon Sense. It's still me, it's still Theo, if you couldn't tell, but I just saw my hair after having taken a swim, and I haven't played that game that much, but it was the first thing that came to mind, Duke Nukem. I think that guy kind of has this hair. I think it's time I do something about it, but yeah guys, I'm feeling pretty great, having lots of spiritual insights these days. I kind of feel like talking about it, it's just that I don't have any specific topic in mind, so you can just expect probably that I'll be talking more of the spiritual kind of stuff. But today I wanted to talk about how to be perma-ripped via the snake diet, okay? So I just came up with this expression, but what I mean by that is that through using prolonged fasting, incorporating that in your lifestyle, you wouldn't necessarily have to. It's just that I'm going to make the case that it's way more effective this way. But by using fasting, you end up in a state where you keep working on yourself, you keep building muscle, and then you cut fat, but you never really get over this level of body fat. Like for me, I'm quite fat for being me right now. Like I know that, the straps here, they're gonna restrict blood a little bit. Yeah, the veins will be popping. I still have abs and that. But if I let it go, completely, and I push my belly out, well, as you can see, it's not like a lot of fat, but just, some people with the word ripped. It depends on who you ask. But I mean it like, as for the everyday person, you look jacked. You never really, you always look muscular, and even though it's going to differ a little bit with how lean you are, you never, when you're bulking, you never go like a kilo here and there, of course, but you never really lose your abs. You never really truly lose your definition. You never really get soft like that. I think that's obtainable for everyone, and I think everyone should. Maybe you think you don't need to, but I have, since I know you can do it, I have higher aspirations for you. But I just don't see any point of ever getting fatter than this, unless you're doing some kind of sport, where it would just benefit you to have a bit more extra mass. But if you're someone that just wants to be fit and healthy, athletic, function well, look good as an expression of all of that, this is the way to do it. So I'm gonna talk you through like how a person that's just nowhere there, the typical person, would do it, and then I'm gonna give some examples of how someone else would do it. So the typical person today, like in the West, is skinny fat. It's not only obesity epidemic we have a like muscle atrophy epidemic too. It's not only that people get too fat, they do get too fat more easily because they have too little muscle. So the first thing I do with a person like that is focus on just cutting the fat off. Cutting the fat off because, as I've talked about in other videos, if you're a complete beginner like that, if you train well and eat well, high enough protein, you will be able, as a complete beginner like that, to put on muscle as you cut the fat. So it's amazing how you can do both, right? But it's because of what happens when you cut in general. It can happen, but it will definitely happen more easily with fasting, especially prolonged fasting, but also with intermittent fasting. But so the typical routine I have that video too, an older video, but it's my favorite snake diet routine for everyone. You can go watch that to get a, that's my starting point with a lot of people. Then I adjust it. Someone that has more weight to lose, maybe we fast longer than that, so etc. And I don't do long fasting with everyone or every week, but typical routine I have with people, it's like a 60-hour fast that you start on the Sunday evening, break in the Wednesday morning or lunch, depending on your eating window and that. But what you need is this fast. You need a meal plan, like a nutrition plan. How many meals do you eat, at what times, in what eating window, your macros, carbs, fats, protein, and calories in total, of course. Because what will happen if someone who is skinny fat nails this kind of routine, they nail the fast, they then eat like a normal person, good, healthy food on a set structure, and they train. What will happen is not only will they lose fat, but they will reverse their food addiction. The fasting is great for resynthesizing the dopamine receptors connected to the taste buds, so that you will actually enjoy just eating whole foods more. You'll just stop craving the junk food in the same way. Also, both the intermittent And prolonged fasting will be great for your insulin sensitivity, so you just won't feel these dips and need to eat as often. So you're cutting fat. You will also notice as you're losing weight, you'll feel better just from that, but also from just having eliminated all the crap you were eating, now nourishing your body with good, nutritious food. You will notice yourself feeling a lot better. And if you get to the like ripped, really lean body fat level doing this, you will enjoy it on so many levels that it's almost impossible that you go back. This is what happened to me. It's just that because I found this through experimenting, this is the sort of routine that I've come up with. I did it with all these spread out different things I did, but this is effectively what happened. I got more lean than I ever had. I noticed like I am feeling great. I'm not craving junk food or even eating as often at all, you know. And look, when you're there, now it's so easy. You can enjoy. I don't have to do any longer fast for a while. I can eat a bit more. I just eat the good stuff, you know. Now I train for progress. I put on muscle. I put on a little bit of fat, and at the end of the block, I'll do some kind of fasting again, right? So this is the very general. This is how I'd see it for most people. Then we have some people that if you're really fat, you want to focus more on the weight loss side of things. You might be doing longer fast than a 60-hour fast and that, but you will want to strength train still. You will want to, like I've said, I don't like chaining back-to-back fasting. You will leave at least 2 days of eating between these fasts, so you can get in a workout and some protein on the day of training and the day after and that. But also, you might, if you have to cut for so long, you might exhaust yourself quite a bit, and it could just benefit you to stop for a little bit, like not bulk necessarily, but you know, take a break from the fasting and put on a bit more muscle before you continue cutting, because putting on more muscle is what's gonna make you a more efficient fat burning machine. The more muscle you have, the more energy you burn. So like a fast, or someone that, you see, it's someone that runs on 2,000 calories. A fast is a 2,000 calorie deficit, while someone that runs on 3,500 calories, you see, you're gonna burn a lot faster, right? Then we have also just the extremely skinny individual that really doesn't have much muscle mass or fat. Like, because some people, they are skinny. You will describe them as skinny, but they kind of are skinny fat. It's just that they have so very little muscle that, you know, you wouldn't describe them as fat. But really, if you look really soft, you know, then you're still in the skinny fat camp, and you could take the approach I was talking. But if you are one of those people, that this is more unusual, you know. They're almost like, you're almost like ripped. It's just that you don't have much muscle, but you kind of have veins going. You maybe even have abs. I mean, some truly skinny people don't really have abs because they have too little ab muscle mass too. But that's the person I tell to just bulk. Just learn to eat a lot of good food, you know. Because if you are naturally like that, you probably just, you know, your problem is probably not junk food addiction, right? So you just have to learn to eat more, and it's gonna get easier as you train harder because your body is gonna crave more. Yeah, but that's basically my thing, you know. Like, you get lean through the snake diet, through prolonged fasting, except for the actual fat loss. The benefits you get from doing this, you know, the effects from the long fast, but also staying on point with your intermittent fasting and nailing down your macros and just eating healthy whole foods, when you get there, you will have completely transformed. I will round off here by showing off client results. I should probably do, you know, I've helped people do decent results, but I've never wanted to show anything until I get that one really good one, you know, because as the coach that knows the person, I can always know more about what it took for a person. And even, you know, if someone is 40 kilos overweight and loses 10, you can't really see how big of a loss that is in a picture, right? You can't really understand. But Sebastian, my client, he lost 10 kilos in 2 months. Very impressive, very impressive. But and this is a guy, he had a good amount of muscle mass. We started, so that helped him out in that, you know, he's gonna burn fat faster. We also didn't have him on a set routine with a weekly fast. We we took them like impromptu. I think during the 2 months we did 2 60-hour fasts and one a little longer, like almost 100 hours or so. But this guy, not only does he look the best he ever did, got to a level he never did before. This is my point with the whole thing. He's saying that I've never felt this great, because not only did he get to like a result he's never had, so he's proud, you know, get the good feels from that, but he also stuck to a good diet with intermittent fasting, you know, longer than before, while also sprinkling in these longer fasts, which have, you know, helped reduce the food addiction. So you know, it's so many things that happen. Not only that, oh, I'm not craving this stuff, it's like, oh, I'm feeling great and I'm looking better than before. It's like there's no return. So what we will do now is gradually we reverse diet, you know, gradually increase calories. Gonna start put on a bit more muscle with just a little bit of fat, and then at some point in the future you got to a level like this again. He's more lean than I am right now. And then you just do a little cut again. So what I'd say to round off, when you're there, when you've reached your like leanness level that you know you're ripped now, and you did it with this, like think like 2-3 months of bulking, you know, 500 calorie surplus or so, you know, and that's a good thing too. When you are in control of yourself like this, you can, without like giga bulking, you don't have to, you know, you can push it a little bit more, because you still know that you have this ability now to just fast. It's going to be easy. So you can do like 500 calorie surplus, 2-3 months. Then I'd say it depends on how aggressive you are in that, but 6 to 12 weeks of cutting. I myself last time, after having giga bulked, which I won't do again, I don't like it, but when I actively did it slower, it took me like 2 months to lose 8 kilos, and that was me consciously choosing a slower pace to be able to train a bit more. But yeah, guys, I think that's it. Please let me know if anything was unclear. We're gonna maybe do a bit more structured videos with a bit more visuals, but for now, keep the walk and talk videos going for a bit. If anything was unclear, please let me know in the comments, and please like. All comments and likes help support the channel, so it's very much appreciated either way. You can send me a DM on Instagram or email me. I am taking on coaching clients, so reach out. I'll tell you about my different options. Please subscribe for more content about fitness, fasting, losing weight, building muscle, self-improvement, stoicism, mental health, philosophy, mindset. It's a mindset, guys. Be perma-ripped. Just never have to be fat again. You're either super ripped or just kind of ripped, and you just get better all the time. Peace.